Today I'm showing you my 1957 Tempo Wiking Rapid L. It's a camper, and because of this it's very rare. It has windows on the side, and there's this little extra window on the back which makes it the long version. The car has a Austin 35 engine and was found in a barn after sitting there for 29 years. It didn't run. We made it run and we cleaned it, and that's basically it. It has some little rust here and there, but overall it's not a major problem. Nothing is rusted through, so the car is in good condition. For some people there's a little confusion about the name Rapid or Wiking Rapid, and it's clearly visible at the front. This is called a Wiking Rapid, which is the long version from Tempo, made in Hamburg, Germany. All the lights on the car work. Looking at the cabin, the car has the usual Tempo dashboard located in front of the steering wheel. Then it has the steering over there and everything else that you need to drive it. In this car, the engine is located right under the front seat. It's a 948 CCM Austin engine, which was originally used in the Austin A35. The car came with a damage at the crankshaft, so we put in a new crankshaft, new seals, new bearings, and right now it's doing just fine. Looking at the interior, you see what I already mentioned, that it's a camper conversion. You have a Westie style interior. There's the table that you can pull down and make it a bed with the backrest of the bench and the bench itself. There are these little levers that act as a support for the bed, and there's this other chair that is part of the bed as well. The little cabinet is mounted to the side. In there you can find some plates and a glass of sugar. The little cabinet is opened by lifting the lever on the right hand side, and it acts as a table as well. Here you can find the plates that I promised you. There's a little drawer, and if you want to fold it down again, you just lift up this little thing here and it folds down again. There's this little fancy lamp that you can activate by putting some pressure on the push button. In the back, the car is equipped with pull-out windows. You just pull the lever, put them out, and the clicking makes them stay in place. Looking at the other side, we can find a little mirror which is only at the driver's side, following the lines, you see the sliding window, and there's a little parking light which is operated from a switch right behind it on the other side of the B-pillar. You can see this little switch up there over the power outlet. It's used to switch on or off the parking light that is outside of the same pillar, just right in the same place. From the front it's yellow or white, and looking at it from the back it's red. Being on the inside of the car, we look at the dashboard. This is the speedo, this is the motor temperature. It's water cooled, so this is the water temperature. If you look at the switch, the key, it's just a, how can we focus? It's just a machine key, like from a moped from the 70s. And there's the windshield wipers, there's the indicators, the blinkers, horn, and this is the starter button. On the side you see an aftermarket amp meter, and there's the fuse box. You can see all the little torpedo fuses, and there's a little document inside where you can see which fuse powers which circuit. Just close it again. The lever is unfortunately broken, but you can switch through the gears and find the gears like it said on this little plug. And there's a little power outlet, and this is the emergency blinkers. The heater is down there. Here you can say, here you can tell or decide where the air should go, and this is to adjust the heat. There's a little heat exchanger which is powered by engine heat. And if it's too hot, you just open the hatch and you can see out front and let it cool air in. The little mirror is very tiny, and there's a interior light that is of course working. And there are other interior lights throughout the car at the ceiling, and there's another one. Looking at the foot pedals, the handbrake is on the left hand side, and then there's this little switch which is the switch for high beam, low beam selection. If you want to start the car, just put in the key into the keyway. You will see that it's already been running, and you only have to push it in. Then the lights will go on like this. And if you turn it, nothing happens because that's only the light switch. If you turn it back, light is off, and this is the starter button. If I press it, it should normally start, maybe with a bit of gas. Oh, it's running like that. In the back of it you see a big barn door which opens to the side, and inside you see there's the spare wheel attached. There are some little secret compartments in there and on the other side, and then there's the rest of the camping interior. As I mentioned before, all of this can be converted. Just fold it down, snap it over, and then you make it flat to hook it with these hooks into the rest of the bench and make a sturdy bed. The leg of the table can be folded down. It has a few spots where it's not that nice, so for example there's some rust. You can see it was filled with Bondo, and some rust is pushing the Bondo out, but there are only like 2 or 3 little spots. I think it got hit somewhere on the bumper. It's not rusted through, and I just left it as it was. Then the next part, and the last big part, is this here. You can see the dog leg. This one was once welded to the body, and the weld is not that nice. And on the lower right side of the door you have some rust as well. The A35 engine is tucked right under the front seat. It's single carburetor powered. There's an oil sump, air filter. Funny thing is the water lines, because it's water cooled, are copper lines. It's a 6-volt car, and the alternator drives a fan that cools down the water. Right now the car is powered by a little auxiliary gas tank, but the main gas tank is welded and inside, but not connected yet. It comes with the original jack and other equipment used to, for example, change a tire. Starting the engine, I use the starter button, and that should make it turn. Shut it off again. There's another way to access the engine if you don't want to put up the seat. There's a cover in the back which is reachable from behind the camping bench. You can remove it by removing these nuts, wing nuts. The car is equipped with its original Lemmertz rims, Tempo hubcaps, and Michelin tires from 30 years ago. The car is also equipped with this giant roof rack, which hasn't been cleaned or restored yet. It can be mounted to the top, to the roof, by little screws that grab the side of the roof. Being on the inside of the car right now, we're looking at the German title. German title is called Fahrzeugbrief, and with the number plate, the license plate, you can see that it was last registered in Ludwigshafen. I have this paper on here because I don't want you to see the name of the former owner, but I can assure you there's only one former owner to the car, which had it from the beginning to 1993. The car was taken out of service, you can see it here, on the 5th of February in 1993. Turning this around and opening up the title, you can see a lot of things about the car here, the name and the class of car. It's a Tempo made by Vidal Sohn. It's the model Wiking Rapid L. It has a petrol engine and 942 registered cubic centimeters big motor. The registered high speed is 85 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to 53 miles. And there are 6 people out to sit in the car. It's roughly 1,200 kilograms, a bit more than a ton. Empty, and if it's fully loaded, it is not allowed to take more than 1,840 kilograms. The measurements of the tires are registered here, and this thing that is put in here with the pencil is the 22nd of April in 1958, and this is the date of the first registry. One thing is interesting, there's a little place for special things, and in this special place there's a note that says mit allgemeiner Betriebserlaubnis Ausnahmegenehmigung bei Betätigung von Fahrtrichtungsanzeigern nur einseitiges Bremslicht sichtbar, which means if you use the brake, if you use the indicator, the blinker, at the same time that you use the brake will only be visible, the brake light will only be visible on one side. And because normal cars are not affected by the fact that you blink and brake at the same time, it's registered here, so otherwise the car wouldn't pass technical inspection. That's everything I can show you about the title. There's not much more in it. There's a little field here and some more information about the former owner, and that's it.